Switch your corners and you're watching Guns N' Roses Central.
Hey everybody, what's going on, and welcome to Guns N' Roses Central. And today I want to talk about the worst Guns N' Roses moments so far of this year. I did a list of the best moments so far of this year last week, but this week there's definitely a lot more negatives this year than there have been positives. And we got to talk about the big elephant in the room. To me, the biggest disappointment that Guns N' Roses management has failed to address, largely because it seems like they're completely incompetent, is the fact that they haven't done anything about this whole copyright issue. You know, we've had so many great YouTube channels lost because of these bullshit copyright claims that are coming up. And the band management claims, oh, we are not even aware of it. And then first, Del James comes out and says, well, you guys are to blame. You shouldn't be posting that kind of stuff. And then he retracts his statement because he didn't even read the whole thing properly. And recently, on top of that, a lot of Guns N' Roses Facebook pages have been disappearing as well. So it seems like it's just more of the same, and the band's management is too focused on designing new clothing and selling really shitty merchandise that nobody really asked for, which sort of brings me to my number two thing that is really one of the biggest disappointments of the year, and that is this GNR Air merchandise. Like, did anybody even bother asking for any of this crap to be made? I mean, honestly, guys, like, it's one thing to have a Guns N' Roses shirt. I mean, I've got tons of Guns N' Roses merchandise, but do you really need a GNR Air pair of sunglasses or hoodies or any of that kind of crap? It just shows how out of touch the management is with the actual fans. And then you've got Duff McKagan hawking his own merchandise as well. He's got these really tacky looking shirts that are overpriced and probably made of shitty material. And it's kind of funny because he's like the least punk rock person now in Guns N' Roses. Number three, the Appetite for Destruction reissue. Now, you're probably wondering, but Sid, I watched your video last week and you said the Appetite for Destruction reissue is one of the positive things. Well, I think it's both a positive and a negative. The positive is that it's given me hope that maybe the band will release a Use Your Illusion box set when it's the 30th or 31st anniversary of the album. But I gotta say, the reissue overall was a giant ripoff, and even former manager Alan Niven agrees with me. For him, he even said, let's start with pricing, then we'll go through the creative. As far as the pricing goes, I don't know if all the listeners are aware, but basically you can manufacture a printed CD for 80 cents. You can press a vinyl record for $1 if your run is big enough. He then said, so there are the fundamental costs for the items themselves, so to keep in mind, let's look at it from a different perspective. My point of view is that rock and roll is fundamentally a blue-collar and working-class medium. At its best, rock and roll does a couple of things. It brings people together by its own consent, but it also gives, at its best, what I might call disenfranchised. Disenfranchised sounds a little scholarly. I'll take a line out of the songs. It gives the voice to the urchins under the streets. So he basically said it was a ripoff for the amount of money they were charging. You remember they charged $1,000 for that box set, and on top of that, they even offered financing plans for those who couldn't afford it to pay it all in full. So if you want to basically have a payment plan, sort of like how you pay your mortgage or a car payment, you could pretty much do that as well, which I thought was super tacky and out of touch. On top of that, when they were advertising the Appetite for Destruction reissue, they said there was 40 or 30 some unreleased songs, which in fact was bullshit. A lot of those songs were already circulating on YouTube for years, and the band members didn't even believe in the project enough to go promote it, which was another disappointing part of it. And I also felt a little disappointed with the fact that they kept using Steven and Izzy's image everywhere, but whatever reason, they would never address why they were not in the band. My next big disappointment of the year is the fact that Slash is doing another album with Miles. Now, I'm not a fan of Miles' voice. I guess it's good if you like a cat being strangled, but for me, I just personally don't like it. Like, with that being said, I will see Slash if he plans to come to my town, just because it's seeing the opportunity to see Slash. And, we thought that, okay, maybe Slash is getting back together with Miles because Guns N' Roses are not going to be doing anything because Axl's going to be involved with AC/DC. But if you guys have been reading the news lately, it looks like AC/DC's back together, but with Brian Johnson and not Axl. So it seems like maybe Axl's the one who just doesn't want to sit down and write new music with these guys. So Slash and Duff are going to be doing their own stuff, and that's really a disappointment, considering we've had 2.5 years, it seems, of never-ending touring, of them playing the same set list. And the set list is going to be another one of my points I'm going to make. The set list is another huge disappointment. Like, it's nice that they add a Shadow of Your Love and Slither, but at some point you guys got to reach a bit deeper in your catalog and bring out some of the other tunes that a lot of the hardcore fans like. So those are some of my disappointments of the year so far. I definitely think the biggest one is the copyright issue, the fact that people are being threatened, and the fact that management doesn't seem to care or be in the loop or know anything about it. because they're too busy designing new clothes that nobody asked for. It's a real disappointment to me, but let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, guys. Thanks for watching. Be sure to hit the like button, and be sure to go check out gnrcentral.com for the latest and greatest Guns N' Roses news. Take care.